Hello, my name is Skylar Smith here at Apogee Instruments, and today we're going to talk about the MC100. We're going to do a demonstration with it. We're going to talk about how to take measurements with it, how to save samples, how to read the different units, the CCIE units, the SPAD units, and the micromoles per meter squared of chlorophyll, depending on specific species, and then also a generic species we have for that. How to change the meter to read for those, and then how to get all the saved data off the meter onto the computer. Then we're going to briefly touch on if you want to add the GPS module as an add-on feature. So to do that, we do need the overhead camera. So we're just going to change to that. So that'll just take a second to come up here. As that comes up, you can see right here in front of us, we have the MC100. Here's the full unit. Okay, and we're zoomed in tight so we can see the screen because we're going to go through the settings on it. So first thing, we're going to hit power. It's going to beep, and that's how we know it is on. We see three things right off the bat. We see run, data, and save. And then we see our time and date stamp up here. Now, if this is not correct and you want to change this, then the first thing you want to click on is System. And then you want to go to Setup. And then it's going to tell us our time, date, and the format it's in. If we want to edit that, right there. And then as a note, this is a 24-hour clock. So we'll go ahead and hit exit there. Now, we want to set this up. We need to first set up how we want to save the files. And then we want to set up how many averages we're going to take. And then we're going to set up the units. So first thing, how do we set up the files? So we go to Run. And then we go to Setup. And the first thing that comes up is Save Data and Data File. Let's go ahead and edit that. So we hit Edit, and then when Yes is highlighted, so we want to save data yes, but maybe we want to rename that data file or change it to something else or understand why it came up with that. So if we hit Over, it comes up with the File Name Manager. Now right now it says Use Existing File. Well, we don't want to do that. We don't have any files on here. Next is Enter a New Name. If we wanted to just go ahead and type out a new name, we could do that there. Next is edit a default name. And then the last one is use date as name. So for our example, we're going to go ahead and use the date as the name. So let's accept that. And then it comes up with this. And we have the year first, followed by the month, followed by the day, followed by the hour. And so this looks perfect. It's how we want to save for our demonstration today, so we're going to hit accept. All right. So we have all of that set up, our file name. The next thing is if we want to do averaging. So there are three different test measurement ways you can do it. You can do it in multi-point average, as it's showing right now. You can do it in 1 point no averaging, and you can do multi-point standard deviation. So let's start by talking about 1 point no averaging. This means that every time that you take a measurement on a leaf, that is just saving every measurement. Every time you point, it's just taking a measurement. It's not doing any averaging for you. And so this average number of points in recorded point data, they do not apply in that feature. Multi-point standard deviation. In this one, it will take your standard deviation as an average of between 10 and 30 readings. So you have to change this number of point to between 10 and 30. Now, on this last one, record point data, if you have this in no, right here, then it means that it is only going to save your standard deviations, your average standard deviation. If it's in yes, it's going to save every individual point as you measure, and as well as that, it's going to save your average standard deviations. Now, as a note on that feature, if for any reason your measurements are larger than 2 times the standard deviation, then the instrument itself is going to throw out that outlier and cause you to take another measurement, ask you to take another measurement. So just be aware of that if that happens to you. So in our example, let's do multi-point averaging. Okay? So it's going to do multi-point averaging. It's going to ask you how many points to average, and then record point data. On the record point data, if you put no, it's only going to record the averages for you. And if you put yes, it's going to record every single point when you take a measurement, as well as the averages. So if we click enter here, and then if we click over, it will ask us the average number of points. We can push up or down here to get the average number of points, higher or lower. For our example today, 3 is fine. And then record point data, yes, that is fine as well. So we can just hit enter. Next on the menu is this data echo output as off and GPS data logging off. So the data echo output refers to the RS-232, which is the port on the bottom of the sensor. You can see it right here. And so if you had an RS-232 to a serial cable and you wanted it to be sending data out through that as well as logging data on the unit itself, you would have that on and then you'd have that set up. For more details on that, just contact us here at Tech Support. And then same on the second one, the GPS data logging, you would also plug into that same 232 port some sort of GPS module, and then you'd click on this menu, and then you'd have that set up. So again, for more details on that, just contact us here, and we'll tell you what we have found that has worked for us. Next, use custom measurements. So what it's asking us here is what is the unit that we want to read our chlorophyll in. We talked about we have CCI units, we have SPAD units, and then we have units of chlorophyll in terms of micromoles per meter squared. So when it says use custom measurement, it says no right now. That saying no means it is in CCI units. So for our example, let's go ahead and start with doing it in terms of chlorophyll of micromoles per meter squared. And for our example, let us pull up our heart leaf ivy, our little Philodendron cordatum here. And so we want to do some chlorophyll readings off of him. And let's start by doing generic readings first, the generic chlorophyll table. So to change this, we go to Edit. We change that to Yes. And then when I push the side button, it's going to ask us which one. And these are all the custom tables it comes loaded with. But since Philodendron cordatum is not listed in here, we just want the generic. So we'll go ahead and hit generic, hit OK, accept. And now it's saying use custom units. Yes, use generic. All right, so we are all set. We are ready to start taking measurements. So we click measure, and it says clear sample area, and hold down the arm. So we'll go ahead and just hold down the arm. All right, he's all set. So now, for our example, we'll just go ahead and come over here, pick a leaf, and we can see that it says average point, and it gives us the reading for one. So we'll do that on the second one. And we can see what it reads after the second one, and then the third one. And it gives us a double beep saying it has taken an average. So here it is giving us our average, and then telling us it's in that generic. So for our data, let's go ahead and do 3 more. Okay, so we have our 2 averages using the generic. All right, well, I wonder how our heartleaf ivy also reads in SPAD units. So let's change it to SPAD units and save some averages. So we hit exit here. We go into setup, and then we hit up, and it has use custom measurement, yes. So we hit edit, and then if we hit over, now we just need to go down until we get to SPAD. So we will scroll through all the different species we could click on that we have coefficients saved in for micromoles of chlorophyll per meter squared. So we'll come down until we get to SPAD. There it is right there. We'll accept. So this is telling us custom measurements, yes, SPAD units. So if we hit exit, now we hit measure, and it's going to say this file already exists. Do you want to override it, or do you want to append it? Well, we just want to append it because we're just taking the same, we're measuring the same plant, same leaves. We are just doing it in a different unit. So we're going to hit append. We're going to come up here. We're going to take a reading. And there we go, telling us our average 0.1 in SPAD. Right here. And if for some reason there was a measurement error, we could just hit delete, and then it would ask us to take that average point 2 again. So 3 beeps tells us it did the average, and it's telling us across the top 1, that it saved that 1 because we said save a sample every 3. And here we go. So we have 2 of those now. Now let's do it in CCI units. So because we've saved our plant here with the generic coefficients, we've saved them as SPAD units. Now let's save them as CCI. So go to exit, we go to setup, we push up, use custom units, no. So we do push there, enter. When yes is highlighted, we push up, no, enter. It's now saying use custom units, no. And when that says no, that means we are now reading in CCI units. So we hit exit, we hit measure. It's going to say you're on that same file. Do you want to override or append it? Well, in our example, we just want to append it. So we'll just hit there, and then we're good to go. And that's our first reading. Our second reading. And our third reading in CCI. And again, just for uniformity, we will go ahead and take 3 more. Okay, so we now have all these measurements saved on here. So now we want to get them onto the computer. So we get out of the test menu here, and we hit back, and we see where it says data. So in our example, we need to just take the USB that's supplied with it and plug it into the USB on the model right here on the side. So we do that, and then we hit data, and it says USB link active. So now we need to turn on our computer here. And we can see in our example that it comes up just like a flash drive would with the information here. And so we see all these tables come up on the file. These are all the saved tables to the unit. And then right here is our file. So if I double click here, my text documents automatically open up as Notepad, however you have your text documents. And so we can see the time date stamp across the top. And we can see that we're doing averaging over here. We can see these are our generic coefficients for micromoles of chlorophyll. We see our 3 readings here, our average, our 3 readings here, and our average. And then we see our SPAD units here, the average, SPAD units and average. And then we see our CCI units and our CCI units and our average. So you can see that that comes in a CSV file, so that's really easy to drop into a spreadsheet for more analysis as needed. With that, that concludes our demonstration of the MC100, how to take measurements. If you have any questions, feel free to put them below in the video in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe to all of Apogee Instruments videos. Thank you.